Let's start at the start here. What about Raheem Ashford and Tanner Engel? What are their status, and are there any other changes in the depth chart?
Yeah, Tanner's good to go. Still don't know on Raheem yet.
Gibby.
How much does it help to have both Tanner and Peyton back? That's two big parts of your defense that were missing last week.
Yeah, I mean, they're two of our best players. You know, one of them, obviously, and Tanner is our captain in the secondary. Has a lot of game experience, is a really good tackler, cover player, blitzer. So, you know, brings a lot to the table. And Peyton is one of the best players on our football team when he's healthy. So, you know, it's nice to have them both back in the lineup at those two spots. We're very thin in the secondary right now. So getting Tanner back is a big deal.
Thanks, Dave.
Gibby?
Yeah, but Coach, speaking of Peyton, we talked to him yesterday. Obviously, he was a huge recruit for you. I mean, how big of a recruit, how important was it for you guys to reel him in? Because, like I said, he was such a highly recruited player.
Well, anytime you get an elite in-state player, it's a big deal for your football team. And he's a young man that, you know, recruited a long time. Always felt like he was the right fit here. Just a really tough, you know, hardworking, physical, blue-collar kid. And culture-wise, I knew this would be a great place for him. You know, being a former linebacker coach myself, felt like there was a lot I could do to help him, you know, in the position that he played. And really fortunate to get him here. Glad he's here and look forward to continuing to help him.
Dave, did you know that he and Drake Thomas were really good friends? And obviously
Right.
they're separated in classes. But did you feel once you got Peyton that you had an even better chance to have Drake come aboard?
Yeah, I think that all those things play into it. I do think these kids in state get to know each other very well. At least they used to when we had recruiting. But, you know, there was a lot of events that they could go to where they'd be around each other. And so they'd get to know each other. They'd spend time together. And obviously social media allows them to communicate well with each other. And, you know, we've built our classes here that way. There's been a lot of kids that have recruited each other to play together.
One final question, Coach. Do you think Peyton's a guy that will play on Sundays?
I know he can play on Sunday. I mean, there's a lot of football in front of him, you know, and he needs to continue to get better. You know, obviously all these guys that want that in their life, health is a part of it. So, you know, but he has the DNA for that. He has the mindset for that. He's just got to continue to grow as a football player.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
John McGonigal.
Hi, Dave. I'm from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette up here, and we talked to Charlie Partridge earlier in the week, and you know, he talked about the bond you guys, you and Chris Ash, you guys started Drake, the road trips on I-35 and all that. What do you kind of, I guess, remember most fondly about those years at Drake and that kind of bond you guys built from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, Charlie's like a brother. We were, you know, college teammates for one, so we played together. But then GA and together, we were roommates. Came up in the profession as GAs, worked on the physical plant, mowing grass together. Did a lot of fun stuff together, you know. Used to go to camps and work other college camps and clinics, you name it. I mean, anything we could do to learn ball, we did together. And, and we got to work together and live by each other when we were at Wisconsin, have our kids around each other. So, you know, Charlie's a guy that's not just a friend or a colleague. He's like a brother to me. So as a coach, I think he's one of the best too. You know, what he's done with that defensive line there, what he did with our D line at Wisconsin, I think he's very, very good at what he does. And, you know, look forward to seeing him. And he'll continue to do great things at Pittsburgh or wherever he ends up, you know, down the road, because he is a really good person, good football coach.
Jonas.
Good afternoon, Coach. Thank you for taking the time and speaking with us today. Hope all is well. I wanted to ask you, obviously you guys evaluating the quarterback play week in and week out. Is it still pretty close? How competitive has it been between Bailey and Devin heading into Pittsburgh this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a crazy year, man. You know, I mean, we came out of last season, obviously, and didn't have an open competition named Devin, believe in Devin. And get into spring ball with the new offense and excited about what we're seeing and lose that time. And we get into fall camp and lose a bunch of time. So it's been the opposite of what we wanted for him, right? I was really happy to see him get in the game and play the way he did. But I've said this probably 20 times now. We need both of them, and Bailey has gotten better. It's been a good week. It's been a hard week of practice for both of them. Coach Beck really gets after them in practice, puts a lot of tough looks in their face, and makes them compete every day. So they're going to continue to get better, and you guys will see on game day who it is.
Has it got to the point that Devin do enough to earn some snaps or some scripted plays for him coming up against Pittsburgh?
You will find out on Saturday who it is.
Aaron Beard.
Hey, Dave, you just mentioned about installing a new offense in the spring, or the attempt to, before everything got messed up. But after 2 games, kind of how do you think that has gone, what you got installed amid everything, and kind of how much more you think this unit can grow as they get more reps?
I think there's a lot of growth ahead. I do. Obviously, the first game, there was a lot of fireworks in that one, and I think the run game's been very efficient in both games, But as far as the pass game goes, it's going to continue to grow. I think that's something that you need consistency at quarterback to have happen, and we're a work in progress right now in some areas. But I know Tim will continue to tweak things week to week based on the coverage schemes we're seeing. We don't have a ton more install, but I think just how he's utilizing the players more than anything, trying to get the ball to the right guys and putting them in places where they can make plays.
Thank you.
Mike Topper.
Hey, Coach. Excuse me. Looking at Saturday, I know you mentioned it earlier in the week, talking about Pitt's defense and kind of how they've been sound. And, their rush defense has been very good, but also they've shown that ability to get after the quarterback. Now that we've progressed through the week, what has jumped out at you to be kind of mindful of going into Saturday and facing that Pitt D?
Well, they're going to put a lot of guys in the box. They're going to get a lot of one-on-one blocks, and they're going to do it with really good players. They've got guys that have been playing for 2 to 3 to 4 years, and they're aggressive. They put their DBs in a lot of one-on-ones. And if you're going to beat Pitt, you got to be able to throw the ball by them, and you got to be able to pick up their pressure and give your quarterback a chance to make some plays. You can't give up on your run game. I do think if you watch them, teams that do a good job just being patient, you don't have to try to win the game in the first quarter. You got to just stand in there and keep fighting with them. There are some plays they give you. There's weaknesses, but you've got to find them, They're going to put press man-to-man on your wideouts. They're going to put a lot of guys in the box, and they're going to get in your face with pressure. That's what they do. So we know what they are, and we got to do a good job being aggressive ourselves and not turning the football over.
Jonas, you have something else?
Yeah, we were talking about Peyton Wilson earlier, and when we spoke to him yesterday, he said this game is going to be he called it a meat and potatoes game. It's going to be a real physical. What does that mean to you when you hear a meat and potatoes type game between 2 physical teams?
Yeah, I think it's an old school football game when you play Pitt. It's a lot like playing Boston College back when Adazio was there. I think they're just real physical matchups. Our run game, our O-line, our tailbacks have been good for us, and if you look at what they do defensively, we've got to be able to run the football against a very, very good rushing defense, So I think it's a smash mouth game. And if I'm them, after what we just did at Virginia Tech, they're going to run the ball at us. They're going to see if we can stop them, So our defense has to be sound in their gaps. We've got to play much better fundamentally than we did a week ago. And it's going to be a physical football game. We look forward to that.
Gibby, you have something else?
Yeah, Coach, do you think the guys will be amped up a little bit more, playing in an NFL stadium, or does that not factor in for the guys?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be dead empty. So does that give you a lot of hype to play in a dead empty NFL stadium as a player? I don't know. Probably be cool to walk in there, and then after that, they'll be like, where is everybody?
2020.
Amen.
Does anybody have anything else for Coach? All right. Short and sweet. Thanks, Coach.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Be good. Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.